Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Hey, a little different message today. We're just here to update you.
A lot different message.
Yeah, it is a lot different. So I just want to let you know that this weekend was kind of a momentous weekend for us.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, we finished it was the 5th day of a Lamb workshop here in Redding. And in the afternoon, after lunch, I came back and Lori was speaking and I was sitting there and I started feeling really uncomfortable, feeling like something was stuck in my throat. Like when you get something stuck in your throat, contracts on it, your esophagus contracts. I felt that for a while and it lasted longer than normal. It felt stronger than normal, maybe a 7 or 8 in pain. And I thought, what happened? Am I allergic to some nuts that I ate for lunch or something? And
didn't you have a guy crack your back?
yeah, I could feel it in the back, and someone had to crack my back, and Wendy prayed for me, and Sarah prayed for me, and went away. And in maybe 5 to 10 minutes, it was gone. So I didn't know what it was. Felt it a tiny bit that night, and the next morning on Saturday, I felt it again.
And in the middle of all of this, we're snowed in with the worst snowstorm we've ever had up here in Redding, and we have no
power,
electricity.
No electricity at our house for 4 days. Finally came on Saturday night, but I called my mom. She's a nurse, and she says that sounds like it could be a heart attack, and so she said go to the emergency.
But then the next morning,
no, I was saying I was already talking about Saturday.
But the second morning, I worked his back out again, and it went away. The pain went away. And so that was kind of amazing.
It wasn't the second morning. This was just Friday afternoon and Saturday
But
morning.
the second time I had worked on your back.
Okay.
But remember, the second time then, it didn't feel that good.
Yeah.
But it could have been easy to mistake. And he isn't a run-to-the-doctor person. So
anyway, so we did go to emergency. I drove myself there because the pain just subsided, and I was feeling fine. And I actually didn't have any pain again after that.
Mm-hmm.
I went in and waited, and I told them I had pain, and they did an EKG, and there was nothing that showed up. And then they did some blood work, and they said that my blood enzymes showed that I suggested I had a heart attack. So it ends up, it's a long day. We're in hospital all day. Great, they took great care of us, me, and
yes, they did. Well, we were in emergency for 7 or 8 hours, and then we got transferred to the hospital. But everybody was so kind and helpful,
And so the cardiologist came in and she said she's going to do what they call a catheter. They go in through a vein or artery, rather, up into the heart and look at the heart arteries. And she said, I'm 99% sure we're going to find some blockage in there. And sure enough, they did. And they found
But
3.
She was surprised with how much they found.
She was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to talk to her about that.
Yeah.
How much? Yeah. And there were 3 arteries. One was like 99%
clogged.
9% clogged. Another one was 75, another about 70, something like that. And she ended up putting stents in all of those arteries, and that opens them up. And
the other little arteries around his heart were also blocked.
Yeah. So there's so much we could say to you. I wanted to say this. I really was at peace.
Yeah.
And even when I was laying on the operating table, I don't know if there was a smile on my face, but inside I was smiling and just talking to the Lord, and I really didn't have fear. I was really very much at peace. Heart disease is very prominent in my family history, and even in just a week before me, my brother, I have 7 brothers and 5 sisters. A brother that's 6 years younger than me had 2 stents put in his heart arteries.
60 years old.
Yeah. Last year, my sister, one of my older sisters, had stents put in about 6 years ago, and then last summer almost died they did a bypass surgery, and then she had strokes and kidney failure and in a coma for several days. They really weren't very sure if she was going to live through that. So
and the Lord saved her.
Yeah. So it's just it's been a common thing in my family line. So here I am. I came home Sunday. They did this Saturday night. They got home, let me go home on Sunday afternoon, and there's absolutely no pain. The only thing I have to take care of is my right arm, where they went in with a catheter. They put a hole in my artery there to go in. They said just be careful not lifting anything over 10 pounds, so that can heal and it doesn't rupture. That scab can heal properly. They said there would be no limit to activity. I think it's mainly because there wasn't any heart damage.
There was
We've been told.
no heart damage from
Yeah.
the heart attack, which is just amazing. And his heart was only getting 20% blood flow. And now with the stents in, his heart is getting 80% blood flow. He's going to be bionic Barry B.
Yeah. Little bits of metal.
Which is amazing to me as your wife looking at this whole thing, because you have had so much energy. Like you've been able, we've been through the fires and he's cleaned up our whole property and worked outside, hard working. And then we had the biggest snowstorm and trudging through the snow and
It's
trying
true.
to get our car out because we were doing a workshop then, and just all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And his heart has been performing really well
Yeah.
on the outside, but on the inside it was really working hard. So now it's like he wakes up the day after, 2 days after, he's going, I'm feeling great. He helped me we filled the wood bin together, and it was only because you couldn't use your arm, otherwise you would have done the whole thing yourself. But it's
Having to
just
learn to be left-handed
Yeah.
for a week, just for a week. But
cool.
again, there's a lot we could say. We're just extremely thankful for the medical industry and what they've learned. It's just incredible what they can do. And like I said, virtually no pain. Probably the most pain I felt was them pricking me with needles, taking blood pretty often.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's just amazing, and come out feeling better. It's kind of, I think of it like, I don't know if the cardiologist would say this, but it's kind of like you have a part in the automotive analogy for those who don't understand cars well, but it's like having a clogged gas filter, and it's not letting gasoline to your car, and it's spitting and sputtering and not working right. And if you get it, to where you don't do damage to the engine, you just put on a new air gas filter, and the gas flows freely, and the car runs great. And I think because there hasn't been damage, and now those arteries are opened again, now my heart, my lungs are getting the oxygen and blood that they've needed and available to them. So.
But this is what I love too, because of course going through all this, all of our family was praying to have no blockage. That's what we were asking the Lord for. Or, I was shocked. I thought maybe there would be a little blockage. But when I heard this, I was a little bit in shock because it was just so extensive. But the Lord got us into the hospital in time. Because he was kind of a time bomb waiting to happen, and got us in even when the symptoms weren't that overt or that painful. Like we were going, is this a heart attack? No. Yes, no. And finally we decide to go in, and then the Lord just, through the doctors and the fact that there was no damage to the heart, and it's like we haven't skipped a beat, It really has been very miraculous, and we felt so cared for by the Lord Jesus.
Yeah. So through it all, I'm very thankful. They say I won't be limited in my activity. I can still do what I want to do. And just want to let you know this. Some of you may have heard already, but the rumor mill's already working, and just want to make a statement so everybody could know that I'm doing really well, and
there's
expect
not a lot
to
of
do
big
very well.
recovery.
Yeah, we will still. By the way, we will still pray that God will still even open up my arteries, because we believe He does things like that. We see Him do things like that, and healing, and just for divine health.
We're excited to pray for
Yeah,
that.
so we're still going to contend for His healing, His work, and thank you for any of you out there that knew about this and were praying. We appreciate it very much. Just wanted you to know I'm feeling great and expect to do really well. So, so God bless you all, and talk to you again soon.